we want to explore now are the components that are going to lead up to the development of first meeting. By far, this is the #1 issue we have as a company, and most of our peers that do the same type of support services as we do run into the same problem. How to get an initial meeting with the right format, right type of customer, right profile. And as we talked earlier about where we might go with the SMC Lite or the free program, I made mention of a group of steps which are somewhat conventional to drive that first meeting point. Most companies like LMS have little sales involvement or little sales expense. Those that are maintaining larger sales departments with larger sales expense obviously obtain these meetings. The question is how efficient and how much of that rolls down to the bottom line. LMS has never found through 30 years a good, strong messaging system to drive good meetings. There have been only a few times, and I'll only mention one, which is the 1987 meltdown, where we actually saw the message provided to the field, to the prospects, is really working. We believe we're in a similar environment today, where the message, if constructed in the right way, based on the economic situation, will start driving the business. So as we look along the graph here, the driving point to the meeting, the first piece we went into, which is from every marketing book, was the valued service or the offering, the irresistible offer, the thing that we felt could be made into a compelling situation. And that turned out to be take the economy, provide a tool or a service for free that would allow a client to realize better value, no risk, and again free, would be the valued service. So we defined that as what we call SMC Lite. Now with SMC Lite in place, we need to develop the message. And what we did there, we brainstormed for days trying to come up with the key words of what was going on, what would drive an emotional response in a very emotional time. It's much easier to get an emotional response when the world around us appears to be crumbling and everybody's crying. So to cry fire in an open beach area will not evoke the same type of emotion as crying fire in a dark theater. So we decided to go into a few different messages and visuals, pointing first to a Dow Jones sinking. That was a significant early attempt at a message. And we said connect the dots meaning where's it all going? And we tried to come up with some key words. And those words, rather than a sentence, we came up with words like worry, anxiety, fear, and we thought about using those words along with a visual to drive somebody to look at the card and let the card drive us to a next level, which was the landing page. So the early part of the campaign is to try to get some of those visual messages and visual feelings across in a marketplace that at this point in time will absolutely react at some level. Give us the few seconds more to look at a postcard, look at a message, and potentially our first move would be to lead them to a landing page where more information of the offering would take place. Nothing unconventional about this thinking. What's drastically different right now on this offering is it is a free, very valuable offering to anybody who can understand it, and it's happening at a time where the outside economics drives individuals to think about what can they do, what could come along to make their world better. And we mix up beyond the mailings, we look at telemarketing, the direct mail campaign, the web use, voicemails, using all types of later date technologies, blogging, videocasts, video blogs, all of the bits and pieces that are in the marketing toolbook, but driving it to a core central message in an environment that really has a need. And one of the reasons we always failed, for the most part, in delivering the messages correctly was that our message wasn't that great. As much as we'd like to think we're an exciting company, most support companies who compete with internal IT or outside consultants don't really have a irresistible offer, don't have a offering that is just that fantastic. And although we think we're great, I always use the analogy, if somebody came along and was going to sell you better milk, the best milk in New York State you can buy, not too many people would run for the milk. Milk has been good enough. Well, our marketplaces have been good enough. Our market space is typically in equilibrium. There are enough IT consultants, there are enough IT departments to fill a need. There were no changes to this equilibrium. So our offerings, which were better service, maybe cheaper prices, wasn't being looked at. Today we're in an environment where it's out of equilibrium because price will matter and reviewing how it's being done will happen, and higher level ownership of companies will start to look in our direction. And I think that's a first, and I think that's what makes 2008 October very different than all years and months before this one.